Whoosh. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another chaotic but fun episode of Weekly Wrestling Heat. My name is Elias, and I am joined by the band of wrestling misfits, Angel and Moise.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what happened?
Matt will be hopefully on a little later. But let's sit down, grab a snack, and let's get this show started.
Wait, before we go too far, I need that shirt.
If she is doing an indie show before I see you again, I will definitely get one for you and mail it out.
Big shout out to Miranda, by the way.
I hate you so much. All right.
We're still on the road to our 100 sub wrestling t-shirt giveaway. Remember to follow us on YouTube at Weekly Wrestling Heat. And subscribe in order to be entered to our Weekly Wrestling Heat contest. One lucky member will receive a random wrestling t-shirt. Big surprise. I don't know what it is. Might be a Tiffany Stratton. Or it might be a Miranda shirt. You never know.
Them pick it.
So remember to like and subscribe to our YouTube. Now let's get down to the nitty and gritty best part of this week in wrestling.
Elias, you start us off.
Where our panel will give us our best moments in this week in wrestling, and let's get down to it. Since I'm starting it off, my best moment of this week was actually the GCW pay-per-view as a whole, not the matches. Some of them were good, some of them were bad. But this is the first big indie show that has happened and that actually sold out the Hammerstein and did good numbers on pay-per-view. Production still has a little bit to work on, and it's still a little work in progress, but overall, I thought that it was a big night for GCW, so I just want to highlight that as part of our best of this week in wrestling. So congratulations, GCW, for the success that you had this past Sunday.
How do we feel about announcers cussing? That was kind of weird to me.
You know what?
I think that's part of that.
Yeah, that's part of
scene
GCW.
Is okay with it. Yeah. Elias, your arm keeps disappearing and it's throwing me off. Do you not see that, Moise?
Yeah, it disappeared into the on air.
It's funny. You're like waving your arms and then like it just disappears. Anyway, Moise, I'll go ahead. I'll take. I guess I could take next. Did you have more to say on it?
No,
it was a fun show. Like Elias said, some good, a lot of bad, but it was very entertaining, and that's all that matters.
I'm not gonna lie. The only part of it that I saw was the guy who fell and hit the ropes from the top of the ladder. So just real quick, I'll point out for Matt because he's not with us currently. He'll be back later in the show for anyone that's watching this. But his was the ladder match. Just speaking of that from Wednesday night, guys. I know we're gonna talk about it quite a bit later, so I don't know if we want to touch too much more on it than just saying that you should go out of your way. Yeah. So mine, I don't know if y'all are looking at the show notes. It might be a surprise. So my best of the week is the Alpha Academy and RK Bro segment from Raw. I lost everything just watching this segment, guys. The Chad Gable, thank you. Oh man, he's so good. And then of course Otis, they're booing education. They're just off to the side. Oh, it was so good. Guys, this segment got me. Best of the week for me.
I think it's funny coming from Angel because he's our resident AEW person. So for the first time in our show, I'm actually speechless right now.
During Raw, Angel messaged, and I wasn't watching live. He was like, "How do y'all watch this?" I'm like, 90% sure this is about the spelling bee. So I'm like, dude, everyone's saying this is very entertaining. I don't know why you're hating on this, Angel. So then I go back and watch, and Angel's like, no, I'm not. I'm talking about the Becky and Doudrop stuff, which was actually really bad. The Becky and Doudrop stuff. But yeah. And then I go back and I'm like, dude, this is actually very entertaining. I wish Otis would have spelled the first word right, but it's wrestling. So who cares?
That was part of what I found was so great about it.
And then Randy Orton's last word is dumbbell.
Oh man, it was so good. I definitely want to talk about it a little bit more when we get to the storylines next. But that was my go out of your way, go watch that segment, be sports entertained, everyone.
And then I think I have a pretty surprising one to Elias as well. I went Gresham versus Macklin on Impact. I thought it was great storytelling. The working the leg, the rope breaks getting used really quick in the Ring of Honor style match, the honor rules. I thought it was great storytelling. I thought it was some of the best storytelling I've seen in a long time. And Elias will tell you, I was on his ass to watch this match. I've asked Elias at least 3 times during the week if he watched it.
Actually, I got to watch highlights of it, but the good highlights that happened in this match. I do always enjoy Jonathan Gresham in the ring. So, and Macklin is actually one of the few people I started to like an Impact after his match with Trey Miguel. So, I pretty much enjoyed it for what I saw. So, um, great in-ring technician Jonathan Gresham is. I would say that great in-ring technician. As far when it comes down to technical ability and submissions, I would love to see him go against Brian Danielson.
That's what they're building to, right?
What? Yeah, I think that's what they're building to. I think it's if it doesn't happen in AEW, it's going to happen in Terminus, and that's one thing that I'm really excited. Oh, by the way, before we go through, Terminus actually had a pretty successful pay-per-view as well on Fight TV. So.
Dude, that production was so bad. Everything, the wrestling was great, but the production was,
And like I said, for these indie companies to start doing pay-per-views like that, and it's production value, it's not going to be AEW.
And there was a snowstorm going on at the same time.
Yeah. So it's a benefit of the doubt with these guys. So, Weekly Wrestling Geek family, what is your best moment of this week in wrestling? Let us know down below in the comments. Let us know what you thought was your favorite moment of this week. All right, let's get down and talk about this week's action in WWE. Let's kick it off. Actually, we started talking about it. RK Bro Alpha Academy. I thought it was a fun segment. Chad Gable is money. I'll leave it at that. Chad Gable is literally one of the best people on low key underrated. And now we're starting to see how good he is on the mic and how much charisma he has. And the match afterwards between Randy and Gable was great too.
The match was really good also. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Randy's having a lot of fun.
I think Orton's having a lot of fun with this, which is good. Good for him because, he does deserve to have a little bit of fun for all the crap.
Do we see the breakup at Rumble? Do we see the breakup at Rumble, or you think they keep it going?
I really hope they don't split them up, honestly. Like I know WWE's going to do it, but I feel like they should just eventually let's go do our thing kind of thing. I don't want to see them fight.
I don't think I think they already fought. So at this point, I think they're just gonna break off and do their own things. They'll kind of do it like the New Day. Like hopefully they do it like the New Day.
I could see them doing
That's
it
what I'm hoping happens with the Street Profits too, because I don't want them to have a match. I want Montez to do his own thing because we're on Raw, and one of the highlights of Raw was that dive he did, broke the internet with his Superman dive. And Montez is a talent. I'm going to talk about him more when we get our Rumble predictions. Hint, hint.
Oh God.
I don't have him winning. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. Oh, that would have been close. No, just this segment overall just was designed. This is when WWE does it right. Just super entertaining. Maybe it's just I had such low expectations that this was my highlight of the week for you guys. But Chad Gable on the mic, like you already mentioned, just the thank you. He got some real boos. Those weren't button press boos. You could tell by looking behind him. The whole sketch was just perfectly done. And obviously next week we're going into it with a scooter contest where I don't know, maybe if this was another company, they would play into the fact that Orton's knee got hurt during this match, and maybe that's why they lose next week. What do y'all think?
I don't think Otis can ride a scooter.
I think he's so heavy, they're gonna say
he's gonna break this down.
No, he's going downhill faster, and he'll win that way.
I think it has to go into round 3.
Yeah, you have to have round 3.
All I know is that it's gonna seeing how they're working together and seeing how things are going with RK Bro and the Alpha Academy. I'm pretty sure we're gonna laugh about this next week as well. It's been very entertaining, and I love it. Like you said, this is sometimes where WWE knows how to knock it out the park when it comes down to doing certain segments and having certain groups work together. And I think RK Bro and Alpha Academy are growing that chemistry as tag teams. So I think that's one thing that I enjoyed about them. Um, moving on. Sticking on Raw right quick since we're talking about it. The Usos versus Rollins and KO, another entertaining match of the night.
That was on SmackDown.
That was on SmackDown. Oh crap, my bad. I'm still thinking Raw, but regardless, entertaining match. The ending kind of foretold more stories are going to happen after Royal Rumble, especially with the Usos and Roman Reigns. I can see a split coming down the line again, or something trying to divide the lines, like they're hinting at something big happening between that group internally. Then let's Styles versus Theory, Austin Theory, another entertainment match that I liked. I mean, the Styles made Theory look really good for what it was.
Yeah, I mean, AJ can work a good match with one of us could get in the ring with AJ, and he'd work a great match. So
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Probably not me.
He
can probably find a way.
He'll find a way. This was good. It went exactly how you expect. I think Styles is also getting built for a big run in the Rumble, and I think Theory's gonna have a big run in the Rumble too. So, the predictions are gonna be all over the place when we get to that part because we're not just doing predictions. We're doing,
Sami Zayn. I love Sami Zayn, but the whole segment was kind of cringe. But it was cringe. But
are we back on SmackDown now?
Yeah,
I have no idea. We're just all over the place.
We're all over the place.
Boys, this is just WWE at this point.
It's WWE at this point.
Just join it all together.
Okay.
Pretty much have to. We already know. I would Royal Rumble is the one time of the year where these two different companies, two different shows.
You heard the new rule, right? You have to go over the rope and both feet must touch the ground now.
Both feet.
I think I've heard that like 3,565 times in one show.
But now you know.
But now we know. Like both feet must touch the floor.
I wonder who's going to do that. Anyway,
I enjoyed the Sami Zayn segment.
I thought it was a little cringe, but I love the crowd just booing him out the building.
Johnny Knoxville's winning the Rumble, guys. Like, that's what this is telling us.
He's not winning it.
Okay, he's setting up a WrestleMania match, I think.
No, it's supposed to be a one-off deal with Johnny Knoxville. Yeah. It was just to get him to promote the Jackass Forever movie.
If that Rumble crowd pops,
the ultimate
bring him back. Yeah.
The ultimate crossovers for Darby Allin. We all know that, right? That's what it's building to.
Oh, he's going to be in the Rumble, and he's going to help Johnny eliminate Sammy. And
exactly, because they're on the movie together. That's the.
Yeah,
I'm sure Vince knows that.
Speaking of which, I just got off topic here.
NXT.
Well, I was gonna say one more thing. Mox being thrown a shout out, so we're sort of being acknowledged, not as Dean Ambrose, but as Mox on WWE TV. Yeah. According to an interview that Seth did, he's like, it's worth mentioning the history. Doesn't matter if he's not there anymore. People, it fueled Twitter with speculations that Mox was going to be in the Royal Rumble now. So I'm like, no. But yeah, NXT, going into NXT, Legado and Braun Breaker.
Braun seemed more over this week than he has been. Like, there were people barking with him. You can't really yell Braun Breaker. So, I mean, there are people barking with him.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
do you
really,
cheer for him? Let's go, really Braun.
I'm really interested in this feud with Legado and Braun, and then to cap off the show, that they're gonna have a tag team match now, and then seeing Ciampa back on NXT TV and being his partner. The question is, can they coexist? Can they coexist?
Well, they can now.
I mean, I think there's going to be Tommaso's farewell. I think we'll see him in the Rumble. I think he's going to get called up. And I think they're going to build next week as Tommaso and Pete's farewell.
I
Interesting.
hope so. I hope so. Or I don't know. I don't know how to feel. I hope that if they do go to the main roster, that they're utilized correctly.
So
that's my own thing.
I do have a topic later on. Like I didn't discuss it with you all. I just kind of threw it in there about Pete Dunne. It's just a quick 3 minute discussion I want to have with y'all. Like, just
I deleted that.
Where we would okay. So let me bring it up now because it's really quick.
Just bring it down.
So last week I said Pete Dunne gets called up and Matt's like, man, he's gonna be a 24/7 title, whatever. If Pete Dunne has a William Regal like career, it's a success, right? With his size.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you have a couple of mid-card title runs, you're right below. You're like floating mid-card your whole career as a heel, sometimes a face. I think it could be it's a successful career if that's what you're happy with, So that's what I wanted to bring up onto Pete Dunne. I think if you put him on SmackDown, you can have him in that mid-card scene. So it's whenever you want him as a face or a heel because they need both, and I think his career could be decent on SmackDown.
I think he's still young, so he has a lot of potential to probably be something big in the main roster if used correctly. Because, like, we've seen it time for time again where they get high on a guy. Example, Finn Balor when he first got into main roster, but then, unfortunate for him, he got injured, so that went like died pretty quickly. So we see chances of him possibly being a big player on Raw or SmackDown. His attitude and his gimmick is pretty over with the crowd and I think from the last I heard, Vince was still pretty positive about him. So we'll see. I mean, I could see good things in Pete Dunne's future if
really quick. I was listening to some podcast. Was Roderick Strong and LA Knight on Raw, and I missed it?
Yes,
LA Knight. He was on a no. He was on a website thing.
He was on the YouTube. The backstage promos that they do with the dirt. They did a backstage promo with the Dirty Dogs. And then you saw Roderick Strong come behind him and give Dolph Ziggler a look, and then a couple of seconds after that went over, you saw LA Knight actually have interaction with the Dirty Dogs. So it was pretty.
But it wasn't on Raw though.
No, it was on YouTube. It was on one of those backstage.
That would be very good for Roderick Strong because you guys know I like my charisma, and Roderick doesn't have a lot. So I think LA Knight could give him that push.
Yeah. So yeah.
Going back into NXT, I think this was one of the most underrated matches, but one of the best matches of the night. MSK versus Jacket Time.
I enjoyed a lot of NXT because there's another match I want to talk about too, and it's not what y'all are thinking. There's another match I enjoyed as well. No, Jacket Time and MSK was fun. The crowd was into it. I like how they extended the barriers and moved the announce table so more people can get in. Yeah, this and the other tag match. I was talking to Matt. We did not think Chase University was going to be this over. And he's got the people spelling it out with him now. And yeah, fun stuff on the Tag Team Dusty Classic.
I will say this. I think that if people give NXT the chance, though, because a lot of people are still mad that in a random appearance by my cat. If people are still stuck on the old black and gold, so they're holding kind of a grudge to the new NXT. But I think if people actually were to watch it and just see what they're doing, I think they'll get into it. Because I was one of those ones that was against it, and I am starting slowly to get into it with some of these gimmicks, some of these matches, and some of the people that they're placing on the roster.
It's preseason football. That's what people need to look at it as.
Yeah, I'll say I think the problem is it's people who tuned into NXT. A lot of them, from what I know, were people who didn't want to see regular WWE as much,
Yeah.
and they're pretty much getting that now with 2.0, and I don't think they want to tune in for that. So we'll see where they go to. Like, I don't know that those people are going to move to AEW either. Like, that's the biggest problem. So I don't know. I don't think they will tune in, but we'll see. I did like also. I know Moise. I know you have one more match to talk about. Is it Grimes? The Grimes match
No, it
or the
was
Boa?
Solo Sikoa and Boa. I thought that was
Okay.
a lot of fun, except for the burn wound ripping off in the middle of the match.
Yeah, that was
They put a sticker on him to look like a burn, and once he hit his head on the desk or something, it like flopped off, so you could tell it was fake. But
Boa's magic make that happen.
yeah,
That's pretty bad.
No, Solo Sikoa the star. If I'm WWE, I put his ass in the Rumble. If Roman, I have Roman lose. I have Roman enter the Rumble, and I have Solo throw him right out. I think Roman is big enough where he can get away with that, and I think the pop that Solo would get would bring eyes to 2.0.
Well, I also think that they're trying to keep him away from the bloodline in a sense. So they're trying not to get, because people know the family interact who he is, but not with him not getting an actual Uso name or anything related to this. Solo Sikoa is a unique name. They're kind of trying to do what they're doing with Braun Breaker by not acknowledging. They acknowledge somewhat, but they don't want to say, the announcers don't really call out the family ties.
Yeah, but he's still calling people Oos backstage, and I think that's enough.
Yeah, I mean that's still, it's a Samoan thing.
Yeah,
Samoa thing.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, what's up, Oos?
Yeah, but Elias, talk about it, bro. I know you want to talk about it. Talk about it.
I just want to talk about my favorite spot, which was the end, the body splash through the table.
Oh no, I thought I was switching matches. I know there's a match you want to talk about. Talk about it, my man.
Grimes versus Tony D'Angelo. That was my favorite match of the night.
We'll just sit back. You go.
I mean, I want to talk about the performance. Now I'm playing. NXT was trending, but it wasn't because of a match. It was because of the performance of Ollie. I guess that's her name.
Ollie J. God, that was so bad.
Yeah, but she was trending for different reasons that we can't talk about on the show.
Carmelo gave her that look. So
yeah. But no, Cameron Grimes versus Tony D'Angelo. I thought that Cameron Grimes looked like $1 million in that match. That's pretty much it that I have. I don't have any.
What the Elias? There's another match you want to talk about.
I don't want to talk about anything else. I think I think the only thing that I can worth saying was Bivens' response to Gunther. I thought that was funny.
Bruh, Angel, there's a match you want to talk about. You bring
there's a match that you want to talk about. So go ahead. Go ahead.
I thought we were done with NXT. That was it, right?
Yeah, I thought that was it, man.
No,
we can move on. You ready?
There actually is two things I want to talk about. That I like the Raquel and Cora friendship, trying to win her over angle. I think Cora is really cute and perfect for that angle. I think how they're booking Cora is how Sky Blue should be booked. I think she needs to find some muscle that she can kind of be the heat for, where she takes the beating, tags in the muscle comes in and does the work, and she has her spots too.
But that's what Raquel was for Dakota Kai. So they're just basically trying to rehash an old storyline.
I mean, it's a good
story.
But
it's
a classic story.
It's Shawn Michaels Diesel, but I don't think Cora's going to turn. I think you're going to have Raquel turn eventually. But more importantly, man,
I think she's leaving.
I think she is too. We'll talk about that in the Rumble predictions as well. But I think she's going to write out this Dusty Classic. I think she's going to be a 2-time winner and she's going to leave. So Io and Tiffany had.
Oh, sorry, we're having.
Io and Tiffany Stratton had a match, and Io went over. But I want to talk about the backstage segment. With the way they've been building this up, I think they're gonna have Io and Wendy Shu team up, Elias, in this Dusty Classic.
You know, you're totally catching me off of left field here because I was not expecting you to talk about that. But yeah, I see that happening. But either way, ladies and gentlemen, upcoming events for WWE right now. This Saturday, Royal Rumble kicks off WrestleMania season. So we'll talk a little bit more about it as we get to that segment. And now let's move it on. Let's talk about this
all right,
week's
you
action
guys,
in
Matt should be here in 10 minutes.
AEW.
Matt should be here in 10 minutes. So let's talk about this for 10 minutes, and he's hoping to get into the Rumble. So
Wait, we only have 10 minutes for AEW?
No. At least bring it out to 10 minutes.
Oh,
yeah.
I said we just spent 20 on whatever the other shows were.
Yeah,
Beach break. Beach break.
Beach break. I love, just real quick, I love that they actually went to a beach that's completely frozen. There's Matt. Hey! The Iceman. Tony Schiavone freezing his off.
They weren't at a real beach. It was a blue screen. It was a blue screen, bro.
It was great.
That was a real beach.
It was
the water wasn't moving.
It was frozen. It was frozen. Like it was 7 degrees.
Yeah, it was cold outside.
You guys really think that was a blue screen?
It was not a blue screen.
It was.
They were really outside. I don't. You need to rewatch that moment.
No, they were outside.
They were outside. It was like 8 degrees over there.
I can't tell if you guys are trolling me right now because I just went on a rant about how great Tiffany Stratton is. But I can't tell if you guys are trolling. Okay.
I missed the rant. Then I feel pretty okay. I feel
it wasn't a rant. It was actually very short. Ask Elias. It was very short.
He didn't even talk about her. He just.
I'm excited to re-listen to the first third of this episode without me hear how much blasphemy Moise speaks, Angel disses me, and Elias just tries to keep the peace. So I'm excited to re-listen to this.
You think that's what happened?
I have no idea. I can only imagine. I can only imagine.
Angel, can you tell him what your favorite?
Where are we at?
Your favorite?
Where are we at?
Just now getting to AEW. So you came in at the best time.
Oh, good.
Ever.
Good.
It ain't the best time.
Real.
Yeah. The only part that matters. Got it.
Storylines, real. Yeah.
We just got kicked for having opinions.
Yeah.
What is this? Politics?
I'm
typical.
I'm Dave Meltzer, by the way.
You're Dave? I don't think that's true.
Then you would have kept us in.
You would have kept us in. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, Elias, go on with your bad take question here before we get into everything.
Oh, this is my question.
I didn't ask that.
This is a terrible question.
This is not a terrible question. This is a legitimate question. I'm legitimately serious. Beach break. Do we like how they name events like this to make it seem like they are more important than a regular episode?
You meant this in a positive way.
I don't mean it in a positive or a negative. I mean it as a question. I'm being very, very serious. Now, we have been trained as wrestling fans over many a millennia to know that when they give a name of an event, it means pay-per-view or importance. Clash of the Champions from back in the day on NWA TV used to do free events. And that's what a lot of what AEW has been doing for a very long time. And AEW did it. And then NXT immediately took the same idea. And we saw it with In Your House, Halloween Havoc, and they did a bunch of special events.
NXT did it first because they had stand and
deliver.
They
did not.
Yeah, they did stand and deliver.
They did not. Takeovers. They did takeovers, which were on Saturdays.
Stand and deliver wasn't a takeover.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive that the first ones to do it was AEW.
Angel will back us on this too. Angel,
I wasn't watching NXT at that point in time.
I'm like 90% positive that AEW did it first.
More continuous naming of their shows is what Matt's alluding to. They might have done it as one-offs every now and then, but this is like it's becoming more commonplace for it.
And AEW is the first consistent one that actually has done
since the early 70s, since the 70s and 80s, when they used to do it far more regularly, but then it stopped being a thing because of the pay-per-view market and making money off of special named events. It's not a secret that in WWE, there are 4 shows that are named events that matter, and the other ones are just there to be a pay-per-view on that month. That is not a secret. I would say 5 too. I would say 5 to 6. I would say half of the events that we see in most pay-per-view outcomes are important, and the other half are not important. They really legitimately are not, but we still watch them, used to buy them back in the day before like WWE Network and stuff, because we had to see all of it, right? But AEW does it as free TV. Like that Cody Rhodes match was a free television show. I would say the Orange Cassidy one, but I'm only talking about good matches. So we are seeing some very interesting takes with the way that AEW is booking their free television in comparison to their like paid quote unquote pay-per-view stuffs too. So I'm asking the question, and I've ranted far too long. Obviously, I haven't been on the show, so I had to get all that out in one big take like I did. But what's your guys' opinion? I don't necessarily, and this is like a weird question because I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other. I like them coming up with fun names for their TV shows as a way to signify it with importance. I like it.
When did AEW start doing these special events?
I do not remember what the very first one was.
The first one was Fight for the Fallen.
It was Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest.
Yeah.
Fighter Fest. Fight for the Fallen. What is Fight for the Fallen? Is that WWE?
No, Fight for the Fallen was the next time they did it.
That was Cody.
It was Fighter Fest.
Fighter Fest was the first free
on a Wednesday
TV named event. Like it was just Dynamite. It was just Dynamite, but they called it Fighter Fest. But it was just Dynamite.
Correct.
Because the first one actually they did it both at the same time.
They did, but AEW announced it first, and they did it to counter it. That's what I remember happening.
The only thing that NXT did before that was NXT in Japan, which was a special episode where Finn Balor defeated I think it was Samoa Joe versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That they did in Osaka, Japan in 2016. Other than that, yes, it was a first. Both of them did it first, but AEW announced it. And then after that, they started competing against each other from there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go. I clearly remember, I think they both did it at the same time because they both knew they were competing against one another.
Yeah.
I think AEW had announced it and then WWE had already planned it. I don't care what order it was in, but about these names.
Yes. Talk about the name.
I think AEW does it because they have 4 months in between pay-per-views.
But do you like it? The question is more do you like buy into the hype that because they named this Beach Break it meant more as a show? That's like that's kind of like the rounded question to it.
I don't buy into it because it felt like a regular episode of Dynamite.
Okay. So the name does nothing for you when it comes to like enjoyment or watching it or anything like that.
No.
What about you, Angel?
I think it signifies something special is going to happen, or you're going to get something major that happens. That could be as simple as, hey, there's a pay-per-view quality match that's going to happen on TV, guys.
I agree.
That ladder match, let's be honest, that's a pay-per-view match, guys.
100% was. 1 million% it was. That was my best of the week of wrestling that I wasn't here to tell you guys about, but I'm sure Angel got me covered.
He did.
We mentioned it, and then we were going to talk about it in full here. But yeah, I think it just signifies something important is going to happen.
Okay.
Anything else on that?
Moving on.
Move on.
That
to
was
the
just a question.
Talk?
Yeah. I think so.
Danhausen.
Oh, I thought. Okay. I think
Danhausen debuting in AEW. I think he's one of the bigger names in the indie scene that people really wanted to be in AEW. I mean, y'all. I'll leave it to y'all, AEW folks, because I heard about the guy.
So I was gonna crap all over this, and then yesterday night at 3 a.m. I couldn't sleep, so I went down to Danhausen rabbit hole, and I'm a fan.
You should be. You should be. If you like professional wrestling, how do you not like Danhausen?
As soon as you go down the rabbit hole, you can't not.
He's so fun. He hates cursing, which I just said this guy was effing cool. So I
no swearing. Yeah. No swearing at all.
All right, Captain America.
That's Danhausen.
Dude,
I know.
That's a pretty good impersonation.
He's like a Eugene meets Beetlejuice, is what I called it.
I would disagree with the Eugene analogy part of it. I mean, I know you're saying it because of the innocence to him as a character. I get that part, but I think that's
gimmick,
not
right?
Fair.
Like Stone Cold Steve Housen and the other one,
Exaggeration.
the one where-
You go
yeah.
Gilbert more than. Anyways,
Yeah,
I
Gilbert,
I like the fact that he's all elite, blah blah blah. But it was a very whatever debut. It was very much just like, hey, look at this guy, he's here, and that's what it was. That's what
the
it was.
point, though.
Technically, though, is he really a part of AEW? Because it happened
Yes.
during a lights out unsanctioned match,
They-
so like
they
none of
confirmed
that
it.
actually happens
Tony-
in the
Tony
actual
put out-
lore or the
Tony put out the
mythology.
logo.
I know. I'm just kidding. I'm just I'm giving more crap about a very stupid match that happened that didn't happen technically, and that doesn't actually matter either. But we can continue.
Let's ask the question that Matt wants to ask. Did anyone enjoy Orange Cassidy, Adam Cole?
Yes.
Why? It didn't matter.
Why? No, it doesn't
Didn't matter at
to
all.
the record books.
Or to the progression of the story that's going to continue.
Well, see, the only thing I have to say about that is we might as well not watch anything else other than AEW because it's the only thing that has a record, if that's what you're saying.
The record is meaningless. We all know that. To treat it as anything other
You
than that
even said it.
is a huge markology right there. Like that is.
No. You're
Come
saying
on,
it
come
doesn't matter.
I think that's why that lights out match is so meaningless. Question: who won the Britt Baker versus Thunder Rosa
I
lights
think
out match?
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where you're saying it doesn't matter. I think it
Well, it
depends
doesn't.
how you're. It doesn't matter to what.
To anything at all.
to
It
the
doesn't matter for the
judges.
victor to do anything positive with momentum. It doesn't matter to the loser who still keeps their own momentum. And it doesn't matter to the record book. It is a meaningless, worthless fight that shows us a cool spot that we can go ooh and ah about, and that we can literally forget happened so that we can just go back to the same feud. How much of a terrible booking decision was it to have Adam Cole look like a very strong individual to lose to somebody who he should be able to beat in the mid card because he's a top guy, obviously? And not only that, but he did this quote unquote in the honor of like, you touched my girlfriend and I'm going to beat you up now. And then he's just getting hugged and thrown down into a table because I guess he's just not that tough. I guess he's not able to protect his woman. Like,
I think that could play into something. Yeah.
But this is
We'll
supposed to be,
but it can't because it's
This
a
was
worthless,
supposed to be-
meaningless,
No.
non-meaningful match.
It means something still. I think the
Wait,
point
Elias,
is
let's sit back and Matt had a great question. Matt,
like,
go on your
go ahead,
Thunder
go ahead,
Rosa
gentlemen,
point.
go ahead.
Go on your
No, yeah,
Matt.
this is the most
wanna hear
important
you
part
guys
of it,
too.
and the reason why I don't like it is who won Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker lights out. Who won it?
Britt.
No, she didn't. Thunder Rosa did.
No, who won coming out of it? Technically Britt.
But who won the match?
Thunder Rosa.
So what did that do for Thunder Rosa's career? Because my next
She
question.
got signed, number one.
Oh wow! Should you know she didn't get signed for another
She was under contract.
Another 4 months after that, she didn't get signed.
She was
So-
under contract.
How long did it take Britt Baker to get an AEW championship match? After that match, after the lights out match,
I don't remember.
2 months.
Who cares?
How many matches? How many championship matches has Thunder Rosa had?
None.
0. So what did it matter for Thunder Rosa to win?
She's been.
It didn't.
It doesn't matter.
Didn't.
That's the point. That's the point of lights out. It doesn't matter.
I know. Thank
It
you
doesn't matter
for
for the
agreeing.
records.
Thank you for agreeing. It did not matter. That
It
match was
doesn't matter
worthless.
to the records.
It was meaningless, and it means nothing. It means that
Okay.
a cheap. I mean, honestly, this makes me frustrated and dislike Orange Cassidy. It makes a cheap mid card pop mean less by beating a big card. Technically, we think that Adam Cole's big card. I don't even think he is anymore. He's a glorified mid carder at this point. He's only feuding with mid carders. He's only having matches with mid carders, and he's being defeated by mid carders. And guess what? It didn't even matter because this was a match to get a different mid carder to get a big pop.
He technically still hasn't lost.
And that is Hulk Hogan honky WCW booking bullshit.
I think the idea behind it is good, right? The
It's not.
idea
They've
is
had
that these guys
Go ahead.
will not agree to have a
Go ahead.
fight unless it's like this. Think about it like in college
Who
football.
challenged who? Who
Think about
challenged
it
who?
in college football.
Who challenged who? Adam Cole did after he beat him. I'm
Yeah.
so mad that I keep beating this mid-carder that now I'm going to threaten to beat him without my record getting a positive, which basically signifies that I'm going to lose. But it doesn't matter. Undefeated, baby.
Exactly.
I'm
such
ready
a
to move on.
heel.
Okay,
I'm ready to
okay.
move
So here's a question:
Dumb.
what's next then? Because if this is supposed to be like
Now we
This
get
was
Matt
supposed to
Jackson
be-
versus what's his name? Chuck Taylor. Now so
Rocky
that's what we're gonna get next.
Romero, and then Rocky Romero versus Brandon Cutler.
Yep.
Ooh, I would watch that.
Of course you would. You would
but
die happy.
What does it do? What does it do for Adam Cole? Because
Adam Cole calls Vince McMahon and says, "Please take me back."
This was the first time that like I legitimately agree that Adam Cole's being booked very badly in comparison to NXT. He really is. He is not a big deal in AEW. He is being treated and in the mid card, and that's where he's being like very nicely seated. Is that going to continue? I don't know. I'm not saying that like he's going to stay in the mid card for the entirety of his run in AEW, but today, right now, he's having a big mid card feud with other big mid carders, and he's a mid card person. That's what he is.
My only argument on that, we will stop because we're definitely going on way too long in this.
Yeah,
A couple weeks ago, you blasted Moise and Elias.
I did
about this.
I told them they were exaggerating, and then this week proved me wrong. Last week and this week completely proved me wrong. I was wrong. I can admit that I was wrong.
You said Orange Cassidy is one of the most over superstars, and that was the reason they were feuding.
And I was once again wrong. I was totally wrong because how did they sell his win? How did they sell it? By not selling it. That's how they sold it. How are we going to get this guy a win over this other guy? We're going to not count it because we care about our record here at AEW. Exactly. They did it to themselves. They're proving that they're booking very poorly by making other people meaningless in wins and losses. They're literally Vince McMahoning their own booking system. They're not doing 50-50. They're doing bullshit booking. But by not having anybody take a win or a loss when a win or a loss would affect somebody.
Man, this is some good water.
I don't think so. I don't see it that way. I get what you're pushing, but I don't think that's true.
I get where you're coming from too. You're a big fan. You enjoy Orange Cassidy as a character, and you enjoy the matches that he has with Adam Cole. There's nothing wrong with that. But if we look at this objectively in what it is they're doing, because I dislike what WWE does with their stars by not allowing any of them to become stars. But if we don't like the stuff that WWE is doing, then like we can't like the bad stuff AEW is doing as well. We want to watch good wrestling right now. We should all be watching Impact Wrestling. They have stories worth telling, and they're continuing to push those stories in a positive way that garners both attention for their stars, their talent, and for the actual storytelling that's happening by creating an environment that is going to create an individual to become a star.
Here's the problem. I think you just got off of work. You're a little frustrated because you came in here and have just gone on a rant for 15 freaking minutes, guy. All right? Because there's no reason to be this upset over something that's a stipulation that's been established for 3+ years in this company.
All of them have been bad, though. The only one that was okay was Moxley and Omega. The problem with that is they were already the top guys in their individual fields. Like
Adam Cole gets the loudest reactions in this company still.
That doesn't matter.
I don't agree to that.
Oh,
his girlfriend gets a louder reaction than him.
Brian Danielson gets the loudest. Brian Danielson gets the loudest.
Pause. Let's talk about his girlfriend.
I was at the show. I know.
I love Britt Baker.
Moving on.
We need to move on. We're way past.
What are we going to go to now? What is the plan?
Let's talk about Britt Baker.
Let's talk about Britt Baker for a minute. Let's talk about her.
I honestly thought that promo was not her best promo. And
I thought it was great, but I hate the title run.
I do too.
I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. I loved it. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan. And
I like it because of the NFL references, but to be honest,
I thought that was great.
I thought that was good, but there were some spots where it just went dead.
I didn't think the audience were into it.
No. The crowd was into it. Yeah.
You think so? I got the opposite feeling of this promo.
They want to cheer and simultaneously boo her. You can't.
They weren't trying to boo her. Guys, they weren't trying to boo her. They were doing the let's go brownies, woof, 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 and she spoke right over it. That's why it seemed like they were dead.
It sounded like okay, like I'll rewatch it a little bit, but it did not watch it. It did not look like a good promo at all. It looked like her burying her. It felt like to me her burying herself with the crowd and not being able to recover with good heat. They were just bored, is what it sounded like to me.
My thing is now she's buried the whole women's division. So unless you bring a Tessa or a Taya, there's no one for her to feud with that I care.
What do you think the plan is going forward with Britt, Angel? What do you want to see her do next?
I'm sorry. It's time for Thunder Rosa.
Right?
And I feel they're going to be in San Antonio in 3 weeks. If they don't start this thing by that point,
will you agree? Will you agree if they do not start it that the lights out win for Thunder Rosa was meaningless and lights out matches are dumb in general?
It was not meaningless.
Guys, they're not going to
What
start it in
meaningfulness was it?
Guys,
I
they're not
definitely
going to
need to
start
make
it in
it
3
thinner.
weeks because
All right.
3 weeks they'll do Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes.
Oh,
I wanna
it
see
is
her.
Thunder Rosa Mercedes.
Where's Mercedes?
I'm interested in that match.
Dark,
all right,
probably.
moving on. The TNT title ladder match, I thought had some great spots.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Sammy, on the win.
I was shocked. I was legitimately
was-
surprised. I thought Cody was going to get the win for 2 reasons. I think that Cody is a better heel champion that believes he's a babyface, so it gives the audience someone to boo, and it gives a boss character for other people to go against. I think Cody does a better job of holding the title and making it valuable for other people to compete against. I feel like Sammy, while I love Sammy completely, and I promise I'll stop talking after this for a little while. I promise I will. I love Sammy as a champion and as athletic and stuff. I don't think he's the face of the TNT belt. When I think of the belts and the holders of the belts and stuff like that, like I don't actually like Sammy holding the belt. I like him chasing for the belt. And I feel like the match quality is great. I think Cody Rhodes is a better wrestler than Sammy Guevara. And I was surprised that Sammy got the win.
Cody's a free agent, Matt. He had to lose the title. It was an interim title, Elias. You want to complain about that. Interim titles usually go back to original holder. Why the hell was Fuego in this match? But everything else was great.
God, I was to say, if there's one thing I was going to complain about with this, there's 2 things I didn't like about this episode. So yes, I can complain. The first one was the Fuego thing. I don't understand Fuego coming out there. That wasn't for a babyface moment or anything. He came out there to say, "Why are you hurting my friend?" It's a ladder match, Fuego.
Climb the ladder.
It's a ladder match, Fuego.
Oh Lord!
I hated it. I hated Fuego coming out. It made me dislike Sammy winning.
It was not good. It looked like it looked like what you're talking about. They were trying to get a baby face pop because it's like, please, my friend, don't hurt him no more. And then he took the Tiger Driver pedigree, so it was once again heat on Cody and stuff. But
Cody's his tag partner.
Well, yeah, but
that's
but
not
Cody's,
that's not his tag partner. That's Fuego.
That's not his tag partner.
Fuego Dos is
Fuego Dos.
Fuego's
Fuego Dos.
Is Cody
Yes,
a free agent? Is he really a free agent?
Yes,
he technically is.
He technically is, according to them. Like this could all be a publicity stunt.
He's still EVP though.
No
talent.
No,
I
everything
can't
is
wait
free
for it.
agent. He's not. Supposedly he's an EVP. He's free agent. He doesn't have any ties to the EVP. He's on a handshake agreement with AEW. That's what they're selling.
He did a segment. A segment. He did a shoot promo after the fight match. Excuse me. That's on YouTube, Matt. If you have a chance,
I will go and check that out.
So
pretty good.
All right, but where
I
does
think
Cody go from here?
The match.
I don't think Cody goes anywhere. It sounds like
The Rumble. What the hell?
Yeah. The Rumble. Like it sounds like Cody is going to garner himself. Sounds like Cody's going to Impact and he's going to go to New Japan. He's going to do the stuff that other wrestlers are in the AEW organization, the ones that have made money.
Matt.
I know, but he's going to go do it again.
He's going to be.
So did Kenny when Kenny went and did it. Like I don't know. Like in today's wrestling culture and society, what sense does it make to sign to one company, especially when you have companies like AEW that garner towards the indie audience and that wants to see wrestlers from all over the world compete inside AEW? Why should he stay in AEW? Why?
To be honest with you, I think the stuff that's going on in wrestling today, like never in 1,000 years, me being the biggest WWE fan, would I thought that Impact would be in an Impact wrestler would be in the Royal Rumble.
Under contract to Impact, while being called the Impact World's Women's Champion. Like that is a crazy thing that I don't think she's getting enough credit for. And it's because I don't know. Maybe it's because they have a bigger surprise. I mean, they must. But
We'll talk about it.
We'll talk about that. So, all right, the light. We talked about the lights out match. We spent a little time on that.
I need something to
CM
happen
Punk.
with House of Black. I need something to actually happen. I need something to actually happen now.
So yeah, we'll do this one and then we can go on to really what I
Yeah.
think was the biggest.
Stop
segment.
feuding with the Varsity Blondes, and I'm ready for them to move on to Pac, like they obviously are. But like, I need something to fill material, because even the ending about like, what was the line that he said at the end? Just like death, we're inevitable.
We're
Like,
inevitable.
it is sounding fucking cheesy. It is sounding really corny. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It is sounding really, really, really corny.
Matt,
I
what's
freaked out
it
for
your
that
rule
part.
not to curse on this podcast?
It was a joint
Yeah.
decision.
I think it was a majority of yours.
All right, we
Joint
all
decision.
failed at
All right.
this, except for Elias and Angel.
That's two people.
All
That's
right,
not all.
so
Yeah, all exactly.
do we care about the Pinnacle beatdown on CM Punk?
Yes and no, right? Like, I care about it because I care about the feud and I care about what they're going to do with it. How do we feel about the winning of MJF in
man.
Chicago? Where are we at?
No,
I hope he
Wardlow
wins.
should have turned last night. That is so annoying.
I thought he should have
I'm
too.
so
I thought he
annoyed.
should have too. But they obviously have to save it for the CM Punk match because they need. There's no reason MJF should not win that match, right? We all feel the same way,
I feel like MJF should win it.
right? Yeah, we should. There's no
I
reason he
feel like
should not
Punk
win.
will.
He's not.
I feel like Punk will.
Why?
I
though?
feel like MJF is going to take that loss.
I think that's why Wardlow needs to turn on in the Chicago show, right? Like that's what's going to happen. That's what we're feeling, right? How do we feel? I want to know. I'm curious.
I don't know.
I think
because it's
MJF
like-
should win the freaking match. That's for sure. He needs it. He
I
needs this
think
win
this is-
far more than he
Punk,
honestly.
absolutely.
He can't
This is-
take. He
This is
can.
where
He
you
can
screw
take the
yourself-
loss, but he shouldn't.
This is where you screw
shouldn't.
yourself with a pay-per-view being so far along.
Agreed. That's so
Yeah,
true.
'cause, I mean, hypothetically speaking, if MJF were to lose, where do we go from here with MJF?
If he
On the
lost,
shelf. If he loses,
lost.
he has to go on the
if he's
shelf for
lost,
a little
yeah,
while.
he's got to go away.
Wardlow. If he loses, he goes to Wardlow.
I think that's a bad feud for MJF, honestly, because there's only
Because he's going to take
Wardlow.
another loss.
Yeah, Wardlow needs to go on a small winning streak. Otherwise, why have Wardlow churn at all?
No,
I
because
think this
Wardlow and
needs
MJF
to-
has to be at the pay-per-view.
Wardlow MJF is going to be the pay per view.
It's going to be a pay per view, but
and so
at the-
I think MJF is going to win this. Personally,
I think he's going to be a dirty win.
CM Punk can
Like,
lose.
it's in Chicago. It's going to be tough to
But
Chicago to do
God,
that.
Honestly, like if you're a wrestling fan, like we all are, like that's the biggest place. I don't know. Okay, here's another question: does CM Punk actually respect MJF? Is some of this feud legit? Is some of this shoot, or is this all working? Because CM Punk is a smart wrestling individual. He knows this business very well. He's not a mark. He knows what he's doing. Like, why would he not?
There were reports that CM Punk loved working with the Miz, with the Miz back when they had their program. So I can totally see him loving to work with MJF.
So, like, if he is as big a smart working wrestler, then he should be the one that's pushing for him to beat him in Chicago.
I will say this, and then we'll move on to our next segment because we're pretty much already there. If MJF wins cleanly,
I missed you guys
over CM Punk.
I like you guys.
It will be a
Even
big
you, Moise.
moment. It will be a big moment in next week. Is it next week already,
Yes.
or 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Next
he
week.
said next Wednesday, right? Next
Yeah.
Dynamite. Yep.
So if anything else screwy goes on, then we know it's probably a TK decision.
Man, I really hope that it's the actual main event and not the opening main event, because I would like to build to that moment. I like that they put Hangman and Daniel Bryan at the beginning and stuff like that. But to be honest with you, I think it takes away some of the importance of the match. I don't dislike the idea of booking main event styles first. I don't hate that idea at all. But I do think it does take away a little bit of the luster. For me personally, I do think of the word main event meaning the last match. I do feel that way.
So
I only-
insider baseball, really quick. They're getting very strong women's rating in the lead-in, and what turns the women off, as they've noticed, is the death matches and the hardcore matches, which is probably why they won't. And I think the death match will be the last match, because I think Wardlow's hot and girls are going to watch. It'll keep the women's rating because it comes in from Big Bang Theory.
Are they
A lot of women are watching
planning?
Big Bang Theory. rerun.
Are they feeling like watching? What was I going to say? I had some smart ass remark, but I don't remember it now.
Okay, but
You
All right.
are salty today, Matt.
wait, hey, really quick. What about the
It was a
Jericho
bad
and
Orange
Pride and
Cassidy
Power?
match.
Really quick. One comment each. Jericho, Pride and Powerful. Do we care?
Let's do a round robin. Elias.
It's caught my interest. I will say that at the most, the way the whole match played out, it caught my interest in this little storyline.
Angel. Moise.
If Eddie Kingston finally gets a big win, I care.
I agree with that. I think that it was a really bad booking decision. I'm gonna call it AEW a lot for booking because they're bugging me. I think it was a terrible booking decision to have Pride and Prejudice win the match after Jericho walked out. I think that
Pride
was
and
bad.
Powerful.
Pride and Powerful. Yeah, I really like that book. If you couldn't tell, I really like.
Proud and powerful.
I really like that book. But I think it was dumb to have Santino and Ortiz win the match after Jericho moved.
Anna.
What'd I say?
Santino.
Oh.
I thought it was a bad idea to have members of the Inner Circle win when the leader of the Inner Circle left. And
All right.
I thought that was bad. I thought if you're going to build heat and you're going to build feud, like he walks out, they lose. Then you're like, where'd you go? You didn't have our back. That's my opinion. Opinion.
But you said you didn't want me to have your back. That's how the story should go. Yes.
Exactly. But it makes less sense where they're like, see, we still won.
But they won because of the Jericho elbow.
Because Jericho helped him.
No, he didn't. He walked away.
No,
he did Judas elbow.
He hit the Judas back and then walked away and let them get the pin.
Oh, I must have been working at that time. Oh, I got to rewatch that moment.
Yeah,
now.
he hit the Judas effect from the underneath. Anyway, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
All right, I've got to say, guys, before we go too far, this was probably the worst kind of coverage that we've done.
Oh no, it was fantastic. It was wonderful. We could talk more about how Orange Cassidy's a mid-carder if you want.
Or
all right, ladies and gentlemen,
or the
let's
guy
get
I like to talk about.
Let's get
Jay
into
Lethal?
let's get into Royal Rumble predictions.
Okay.
I think we've gone a little bit too far, but let's get into Royal
I
Rumble
think we got
predictions.
plenty of time.
Let's start off with the matches, and then we'll talk about the men's and women's Royal Rumble.
Okay, let's go, Elias. Let's go. I'm
doing
excited.
predictions.
I'm pumped.
Ugh. I hate predictions.
All right, Edge and Beth versus Miz and Maurice.
Edge and Beth.
Edge and Bet.
Can we all agree Edge and Beth will win this one?
Yeah. Can we all agree on all these? Edge and Beth, Becky, Roman, Brock.
Oh no.
Which one? Am I wrong?
Okay, we all agree
the
on
last
Becky.
two?
We all agree on Becky.
Yeah.
Okay.
You think Seth wins?
Roman Seth.
You think Seth wins?
I think Bobby wins.
I think Bobby wins after
Brock is winning this
I'm
match.
still going by my prediction.
Brock.
Bobby will win because Roman Reigns will interfere in this match.
I love your fantasy booking. You're my favorite, Elias.
If it does happen, you will remember me.
Okay.
Now, if Moy said that, I would actually possibly believe it.
Let me school you guys. Roman Reigns.
Quickly.
Roman Reigns is daddy. He's undefeated this year. How do you build to WrestleMania? You have him finally lose to the guy he could never beat. He loses to Seth Rollins, and I think. Oh no! Sorry, I mixed it up. I think Bobby wins, and I think Daddy wins. I think Bobby and Daddy win.
So I'm the only one for Brock. And then, oh no, I'm getting a phone.
Elias is the only one for Seth. Yes.
Hide my video.
I do think you have to do it. Oh, there you go. I'll say I do think one of the two is going to lose.
I think that Bobby wins and Roman retains.
My big reasoning, the only reason I think that is Brock's got to be on Fox, right? Like Fox doesn't want him on USA Network.
And he's doing both.
Yeah, but is he really though?
Well, it'll go back to the continuation.
But
of the
then if
storyline
NBC wants someone, right? Then what do you do?
Well, no, but think about it like this: it's a continuation of the storyline that they left off before day one. So it'll go back to the storyline of Brock and Roman. So whoever wins the Royal Rumble this year, they're definitely not going against Roman.
One thing I want to ask you guys before we get into the Rumble predictions. Do either of y'all think a re-entry is going to win? Like a Roman's going to come in after he loses the title, or a Brock's going to come in after he loses the title, etc.?
I don't know. I this is one of my first Royal Rumbles where I'm like, I'm a toss up on a lot of things.
Yeah, you think I'm gonna win? Yeah, that's true.
So, anyways, going into official Royal Rumble predictions.
He just ignored my comment. You just ignored my comment.
Yeah, I did.
That's not cool.
All right, so this is how it's gonna work. And this is thanks to Moise who came up with this whole thing.
I did work, guys. I did work.
It basically
That popped me.
God. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, so basically we have a few takes. Everybody's gonna have a chance at doing a few takes that could include a feud or two things that you want to see, two people that you want to see start the match, or who do you think is gonna have the longest run in the match. The Iron Man, who will last longest, and if you want extra points or anything like that, you can say how much time do you think they're gonna have.
Yeah, I gotta run.
Okay.
I'm getting a work call. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send I feel bad because I wanted to talk. This is my favorite segment you've ever created, Moise. You did a great job.
The only.
So what I'm gonna do. Yeah, you did great on your first time out. See, you hit it, balls out of the park. I'm going to leave, and I'm going to send Moise my list of my men's side, my women's side, and it has all the information on there. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit less energetic because I won't be the one telling you it, but Moise, pretend to be me. You know what?
I feel like
don't do that. Don't do that.
I feel like we could schedule a recording of that.
Of just me going off.
No. Let's just record the segment. I feel like no.
I'm gonna leave.
All righty, Matt.
Bye, guys. You guys all did, and because I won't be here to hear your predictions, they were all terrible. Just so you know, unless you agree with me, then they were fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Bye.
All right.
So,
today's we're starting off with the men's match.
Before we get too into it,
Sure.
how do y'all feel about the build-ups to either of these rumbles?
I think that this has been a rumble that has been out of left field. A couple of more on the women's side because they actually announced all the women, most of the women that were going to be appearing. And I think
that's the main problem with it, right, Angel, is that they announced too much of the field. You think?
I don't think they really care.
I don't think they don't because they wanted to.
It's at the point the Rumble sells itself. Everyone watches the Rumble, right? Like Angel, you're not even a big WWE guy, but you were gonna watch the Rumble regardless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everyone watches
Yeah,
the Rumble.
I would like to know that there's something going into it.
There's still 8 empty spots on both sides.
Yeah, but I don't really care.
But I think that's
coming.
I think
Veer is coming, bro.
He's coming hard.
Veer is still coming.
But I think that's what is the left field of this year's Rumble. Like, I think they said that I think that they placed a big kind of not target, but I think they placed a big what if, because people already all right. You gave us a bit of the surprise. Are you hiding something bigger? So if something bigger doesn't happen, it's going to be a big disappointment.
Okay, let's get into it because we're at 5 already.
I just was wondering what y'all thought.
Yeah.
All right, Iron Man and the men's. Elias?
I think it's going the Iron Man out of the men's might be Rey.
The game, you think?
Rey Mysterio. I think he's gonna go probably 45 to 50 minutes before getting eliminated.
Are we discussing it or are we just giving prediction?
We can shortly discuss it. Let's give all of our picks and then we'll discuss.
Iron Man. Okay. AJ? I don't know.
Me and Matt both have AJ at 50 minutes.
Oh. There we go.
Okay. I think both guys are reasonable. He's got the video game, and AJ is an Iron Man.
Only reason I would say I'm not sure on AJ is because they're putting him into a bunch of nothingness right now. what does he really have to gain from that? I don't know. And then for the Ray thing, I feel like he's also one of those ones that he's in that little weird thing with Private Party. Jesus Christ.
Street Profits.
Street Profits and Dominic. That's going to be like one of those like quick segments right in the center of the Rumble to further that story. So I don't know.
So I said AJ as well as Matt, but I'm gonna dark horse Montez Ford. Keep an eye on him.
You think he's the one that remains out of the little segment, the little feud thing?
Yeah, especially after I think when that internet broke, I think Finch was like fear. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think that Montez is gonna be. I think I agree with the dark horse. I think Montez would be that particular
All
dark
right.
horse in the match.
3 reasonable surprises we see. Angel, do you want to start this one?
What's considered a surprise?
Something
because
out of left field.
I feel like, right? Like I think Braun Breaker
Okay.
is a surprise, but he's not really a surprise, is he? He works there.
How about someone we haven't seen in 3 months? We're gonna do 3 for each.
Men and women.
Yeah, 3 for each.
Oh, okay.
Do men first. Yeah.
Okay, so him, Veer, I guess, to show up. Who else haven't we seen for a while?
Veer is gonna come. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, finally.
I
don't know who else.
Okay. Elias?
Come on.
I think we're gonna probably surprises. I think Gargano might show up.
His baby's about to come.
Do a one-off. No, but do a one-off thing. Like do a one-off.
Get a quick payday before the baby.
Get a quick payday before the baby. I see Braun Breaker and I see Tommaso Ciampa. I see a DIY reunion.
Okay. So, Matt has Cody, Corey Graves, and X-Pac, which I can see the last 2 happening.
Corey Graves, that's a good shout. I'll put him.
That's a good one.
And my 3 are Corey Graves, Pat McAfee, and Booker T.
Pat McAfee.
Ooh, that would be interesting.
If
we don't see him on the commentary table for the Rumble, I think we might get that surprise.
No, why not do it like Michael
have
Cole?
Him come from there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
he always wears a blazer and a t-shirt. Just take the blazer off.
The King did it, like when he was in the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, and Michael Cole too. Yeah.
All right.
Final 4 and winner.
Final 4 and a winner. I see Montez.
Okay.
I see Montez. I see AJ. I see. I don't know the other 2. I see those 2. I probably see somebody like Kevin Owens.
And your winner.
Well, I still got one more.
Yeah.
And if it does happen, we could probably see Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
And I want to see KO win this.
So that's a final 5. You have to take someone out.
No, I did final 4.
Oh, Brock, KO, Montez, and
AJ.
Okay.
And I want to see KO win this one.
Okay.
A little thank you for re-signing. I just who's Pierce? So what? I just realized a good surprise entrant, Shane McMahon.
Oh yeah, that news leaked a little earlier. Yeah, I
did it.
Forgot. Yeah,
I just saw that. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I think it's gonna build the Shane McMahon and Austin Theory.
Austin, exactly.
I can see that happen.
Yes. All right. All right. So my final 4. All right, it's gonna be. I feel like I'm cheating by doing this, but Brock or
Roman,
whichever one of the 2 lost. I could see Drew McIntyre.
You think he's back from injury?
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Up in the air.
Yeah.
They said it's up in the air. So.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who else. A Braun Breaker.
Okay.
Just to get him out there. And you have to have some kind of weird small dude. Or Kevin Owens. I'll go with Kevin Owens.
Okay. So Matt has Austin Theory, Dominic, Sammy, and his winner, Big E.
Ooh, I forgot about that.
Oh, Big E.
I've
Big E's
got-
back in the mid card.
I've got Big E, Damian Priest, Big E, Damian Priest, Randy, and my winner, AJ.
Oh, that's a hope and a dream. If only. If only. I actually forgot Kevin Owens is doing the thing with Priest, so I don't know if he'll be in the top 4, but oh well, I said it.
I said
All right,
Priest.
that's for the men. So let's get into
Women.
the women's rumble.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead first. The top
Okay.
3, the Iron Woman of this match.
Matt has Dana Brooke at 48 minutes.
Who?
Dana Brooke.
Dana Brooke.
Interested.
She's gonna get pinned for the 24/7 title and jump over on her own. Oh no, I can see that happening. They're all just gonna start jumping over the rope to go chase her. Oh,
No. Vince won't do that. Hopefully Stephanie has some say in this. All right.
What's your Iron Woman?
My Iron Woman is gonna be. I didn't even think about it. My Iron Woman is gonna be. Oh, Charlotte Flair, dude. They're gonna build that. Oh, Charlotte did this, but she didn't win. Charlotte is my Iron Woman.
I think that it will be the Iron Woman of this match. I think it's going to be Bianca Belair.
That's who I was gonna pick. That's who I was gonna pick.
I think she will be in there for 45 to 50 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
3
3 reasonable surprises.
Well, we already know Mickie James. So that's out of it. But mine
There's
is
8 empty
Melina,
spots. Fill them. Yeah.
Melina, Ronda Rousey, and I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna be completely out of left field, but I think Tennille Dashwood.
She just got COVID, right? That's what I was reading.
Oh, right.
But
right.
Impact was taped 2 weeks ago, so yes, he might be good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Ronda, spoilers. Bailey should be coming back, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I mean, you said pretty much Melina. Maybe a Trish Stratus shows up.
Okay. So Matt had Ronda, Molly Holly, and Ember Moon.
Ember Moon.
I have Ronda, Asuka,
yeah.
Ronda, Asuka, and Melina.
Melina's been very trendy these past couple of weeks on Twitter.
All right. Final 4 and winner. I'll go with Matt's first. If that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt had, cause this one surprised me. That's why I want to read it. Matt had Lita, Mickey, Charlotte, and Rhea Ripley in his final 4, with Rhea winning.
Not bad. I think well, get yours.
All right. My final 4 are gonna be Nikki Bella, Charlotte, Ronda, and Bianca Belair, with Bianca winning.
We see a 2-peat. Interesting.
Yeah.
Angel?
Ronda, Bianca. Oh man, I really like the Rhea thought, but I don't think so.
She's feuding with a fake superhero.
Exactly. So I think Vince doesn't really feel her. All right. Can you say your 4 again real quick? Because I know one of them was mine, but I forgot it.
Charlotte.
I never wrote it down.
I had Bianca,
Charlotte.
Ronda, and Nikki Bella. But I'm going to take Nikki Bella out, and I'm going to put Raquel Gonzalez in there.
Ooh.
I mean, I pretty much like that 4 also. Yeah. I mean, I think that is the same 4 I have, but Ronda's going to win.
Okay.
Here's mine. Mine's gonna be interesting. Mickey.
Oh, Wait, no, Liv Morgan. That's who I was thinking.
Okay. Over.
She's the baby face that you, think
But
Here's
Bianca's
mine.
there.
Hold on. Mine's gonna be interesting. Mickey, Charlotte, Bianca, and Liv. And Liv Morgan wins it.
I want Liv Morgan to win it. I want Liv Morgan to win it.
I would boycott if Liv won.
It's fine. They probably don't
It's
care.
fine. They don't care.
Yeah, so I mean,
you think you guys think Liv deserves another run after how horrendous her first contendership was?
horrendous. That wasn't her fault.
Did you see her promos?
I would
Again,
say
it's not her fault.
I would say in general that I see the storyline building to Liv winning at WrestleMania. But
same thing with Bianca.
Same thing with Bianca. But I also see if Mickey and Charlotte don't eliminate each other, because there's a lot of trash talking. The reason that Charlotte's in the Rumble is because Mickey's in the Rumble. So we're gonna get a champion versus champion standoff. So
I don't think they care that she's the champion.
I think it's a big deal. I think Impact made it a big deal. So WWE has to.
I think
put
you
that
do them
spotlight
one.
there.
I think you do them 1 and 2.
I think look, if those two aren't there, I can't say that Ronda and Ronda will be in the top 4, and then I could probably
Bianca.
see. Well, is Ronda, Bianca, Liv, and I'm gonna say a random ass name that people might not even think of. I would say probably no.
You said Melina.
Well, no, the like final 4.
Oh,
If we take out Charlotte and Mickey,
Oh, I think
I
Nia
put
comes
Ronda,
back too.
Ronda and Nikki Bella or Asuka. I'll say Asuka.
Asuka.
I'll say Asuka, Ronda, Liv, and Bianca. And if that happens, I see Asuka or Ronda winning that one.
My only thing is Ronda has to become a babe. She has to become like a good guy to face Becky.
Unless
Unless you're flipping Becky.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have Ronda come out, show some respect, and just turn, right?
I think the story is there more for Bianca to beat
Becky. That's what I was thinking. Yeah, I think you'd sell Charlotte and Ronda too. Like, I don't think.
Well, the history is there. The WrestleMania match that they had, it's a continuation. Can be a continuation of that. Ronda's still not happy of
Bailey
losing
Charlotte
that.
too.
Yeah. Because I mean, like I said, this year's Royal Rumble, especially with the women, is a big toss-up because of the fact that you don't know. Apart from those surprises, I think people are still waiting for a bigger surprise that might set Twitter on fire eventually, or the social media on fire.
So yeah.
So I think that any surprises that you think might happen, or the last question before we wrap up the show, is there a specific showdown that you want to see in the ring for both the men and the women?
2 in the women's. I think that Bella stick around and win the tag titles at Mania. That's 1.
That would be dope.
And number 2 is, I don't know how you get there. I want to see Charlotte and Raquel at Mania.
You know what?
I don't know if Raquel's ready for that.
She's a monster, man.
She is a monster, and they both have the same kind of body type in a sense.
I would say the only like surprise that I think is kind of logical and could happen that I think would be really cool to see would be Adam Cole. I know it can't and probably won't happen, but he left on such good terms that I think.
What about Cardona?
He would be a cool entrant. Cardona, I don't know if he's happy with the way he left, and plus, didn't his wife just say, "God, I would never go show up" or something? For that.
I mean, you already got the iconic or the inspiration already declined
But Elias and me have talked about this before. Ryder has never said anything bad about Vince since he left. He's like, the only thing I'm going to say is WWE was my developmental for what I'm doing now. So, and he gave him their pool after he got fired for one of the segments.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
I mean, I see the men's Royal Rumble is a little bit on the flip side too, because I can't. This is the first time in a couple of years that I haven't really been able to predict the Rumble winner. Like last year, we all knew Drew McIntyre was going to win, and we kind of had a feeling about Bianca winning.
All right, really
but-
quick because I need this for TikTok. I'm gonna give you all. I'm gonna shoot out 10 names, men, women mixed. You tell me if they're in the Rumble. I'm gonna shoot out 10 names, men and women mixed. You guys tell me if they're in the Rumble, yes or no. All right.
Okay.
No time, just off the bat. All right, let's go. Hornswoggle.
No.
Matt Angel.
No.
Okay. Cody.
No.
No.
Cardona.
No.
Maybe.
Ember Moon.
No.
No.
John Morrison.
Who?
John Morrison.
Morrison. No.
Maybe.
Nikki Bella. Or
Who?
not Nikki Bella, sorry, Nia Jax.
No.
No.
Tony Storm.
No.
No.
Any else from Impact on the women's side?
Bro, you
No.
cut out. What?
Anyone else from the women's side of Impact?
No.
No.
Moose.
Maybe.
No. Yeah, sure.
And last one, Solo Sikoa.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I want to see Solo eliminate Roman. I don't know how you do it. I want to see it.
He eliminates one of the Usos. There you go. He eliminates his own brother. His own brothers.
You got to fill 2 more spots then.
All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today's episode. It's been chaotic. Golly. That's one of the more chaotic episodes we've had.
Dude, Vera's still coming.
No structure to this episode.
It wasn't.
That's what happened when I make the notes.
Yes.
Yes, you're no longer making the notes ever again.
Oh, yeah. All right, next week we'll be back to discuss what happened at the Rumble and what happened at AEW Chicago.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back next week with another full fun episode of Weekly Wrestling Heat. Always remember to subscribe to our YouTube page. We're still going through 100. We're still aiming to hit 100 subscribers. 100 subscriber t-shirt giveaway. Don't know what it's gonna be. I'm scared to find out because it's Moist picking it. But yeah, go ahead and like our social media pages on Facebook and YouTube at Weekly Wrestling Heat, on Instagram Weekly Wrestling Heat, on Twitch at Weekly Wrestling Heat TV. As always, join us next week as we come to you with another fun-filled episode with the wrestling band Misfits. I'm gonna call us the Wrestling Misfits. I like that nickname for us, the Wrestling Misfits. Anyways, all right, ladies and gentlemen, as always, subscribe, like, and catch you all next week. Peace.